Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video on the channel. That was a fairly, in the end, shall we say, routine 2-0 home win for Newcastle United against Tottenham Hotspur here at St James's Park this evening, taking Newcastle through to the last 8 of the Carabao Cup. Now, I've yet to see the draw. It's in the next half an hour, but I thought I'd just get my video up and posted before the draw takes place. Before I get on to my thoughts for this evening, plenty to talk about. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, give me a comment below, thumbs up, likes, all that kind of stuff, much appreciated. But yeah, routine win against Tottenham, the 4th win in a row here at home. Since the takeover, since Eddie Howe came in, not since the takeover because it was that very first one, of course, just a week after the takeover went through, but since Eddie Howe took over, 4 games at home against Tottenham and 4-0 I think last season, on the season before, 6-1 the season before, 2-0 tonight. And let's be honest, it was fairly easy, I think it'd be fair to say. Not easy, they had to work hard for it, but I never thought Tottenham, other than the sort of first 15-20 minutes, were really in the game tonight. And Newcastle thoroughly deserved to coast through to the last 8. Now, before I get into some individual performances, because I want to talk about those, and I'm sure you can see those in the headline to my video, I just firstly want to talk about the options and the strength in the squad at the moment. Like, it's really good to see so many options off the bench. I mean, Eddie's made 8 changes tonight, 8 changes to the starting 11. It was still a really strong team that started the game. The players that came in all pretty much did well to different levels. And then he was able to bring guys off the bench like Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran Trippier, Anthony Gordon for the last couple of minutes. You know, just quality players off the bench once the game was done and comfortable. And having managed amateur football team up in Glasgow for 5 years, I know what it's like when you play a cup tie, you make the changes, you've got a strong bench and you're able to bring top players on for 10, 20, 30 minutes, give them a run out and just kind of keep things ticking over. What a difference it makes when you don't have ridiculous injuries, when you're not riddled with problems. What a difference it makes when, yeah, look, you're missing a few, you're missing Tino, you're missing Lewis Hall, you're missing, of course, Johan Wissa, who's yet to start, who, by the way, I bumped into the other night in Newcastle. Lovely guy. You're missing those 3, but yet you can put a team out like that and still bring on players like Trippier and Bruno and Joe Linton and Gordon, who I've mentioned already. It just gives a real good feeling about the place. And, you know, when you're a player and you're looking at the bench and you're seeing guys like Gordon and Bruno and Joe Linton and Lewis Miley and Jacob Murphy and the rest all on there, you're like, hang on, we've got a team here. And I just feel Eddie juggled it well tonight, gave the right players rest. I thought it was really important he brought Sandro Tonali back in from the start to give him a full 90, and just freshened up things nicely ahead of the game against West Ham on Sunday, and then back here next midweek against Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League. But yeah, as promised, I wanted to get into a couple of the individual performances, and as you can probably see from the headline of my piece, I know it's a lot of money, 55 million for Tonali and 30 million plus add-ons for Malik Chow, but 85 million pounds combined to AC Milan for those 2 players feels like daylight robbery. I mean, yes, it's a huge amount of money, but those 2 players coming from the San Siro are absolute class. The Rolls Royces. Chow is so much better than I expected him to be. I had to, at one point in the second half there, go onto Google and type in how much he cost, how much I reported he cost at the time, because I couldn't remember. I knew it was 30, 35, 40, something like that. It was 30 million pounds up front with 3.4 million pounds in add-ons for Malik Chow. He is just an absolute colossus at the back, strong, athletic, quick, but great on the ball, gets back and tackles. He's just, for a guy who's played in Italy for the last few years, to just fit into the English style of football the way he has. He looks like he's been here all his life, and he looks like a top player. You can just imagine the admiring glances from other clubs looking at Newcastle, how they managed to pull off Malik Chow for 30 million plus 4.3 million in add-ons. He just coasted through that game. He had a hand in a couple of things further forward, set up Barnes' shot off the crossbar. He had a hand in the Voltemada goal. I think he actually played the ball into Willock and almost went round the side of him as if he was going to overlap him, the right-sided centre half. He's a class act, he really is. And having interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, I have to tell you, he's an absolutely lovely human being as well. Really, really nice guy. Newcastle have done their homework there. They've got a top player. Eddie said on Tuesday at his press conference that they were worried that someone else was going to come in and take him, and they were absolutely buzzing when they eventually got him. I have to say, the first couple of performances, I thought, is he that good in the air? Is he that good in the deck? Well, by God, he is. He's just getting better by game, and I think there's more to come from him. And as I say, he coasted it up against Richarlison tonight. But him alongside Tonali, I mean, Tonali tonight, without Bruno there, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He just bossed that midfield, didn't he? Like, I just love the way he dictates the tempo of the game. He mixes it up, long passes, short passes, brilliant corners in, great corner in for the opening goal for Fabian Schär. Those parts in the second half, right down just kind of behind me here in front of the dugouts, where he was just playing little intricate 1-2 quick balls round the corner to his teammates, and he's just light years ahead of the opposition. Like, he knows where the ball he's going to put, he knows where players are. It's like he's playing with wing mirrors on. Like, he knows where he's going to put it before he even receives the ball. He's so quick, players can't live with him. There's a couple of times where he actually turned it round the corner as well in this wing and actually went past like the fullback. That's your holding midfielder. He's like a holding midfielder who breaks the lines, gets forward, has shots, takes corners. He does everything. I know, and I look at it now and I think, obviously we had the issue with Tonali when he arrived, the 10-month gambling ban. For me now, he's more than repaid that. And it's almost been worth that 10-month ban for everything that you've had for Tonali for this last year and a half. He has been simply supreme, and it's an absolute joy to watch him. And for you guys, it must be a privilege to have him as a Newcastle United player. He, for me, is one of the best midfielders on the planet, and against top teams like Tottenham here in the Champions League, against Barcelona, a number of weeks ago, he's better than those, and he can live with the likes of Barcelona, and you've got a real gem in your hands. And I look at it now, the situation with AC Milan and what happened with the Tonali situation, and it felt like they'd kind of pulled the wool over Newcastle's eyes. It almost feels like, sorry, it's just the stewards walking past there. It almost feels like that they felt like they owed Newcastle one, and that's why they allowed Malik Chow to come here for 30 plus 4.3, under £35 million for a defender of that quality. And I just think the recruitment's been good in the summer. Yes, we've got the issue with Wissa at the moment, but Voltemada's been brilliant coming in. It's now like Alexander Isak, who he wasn't playing for Liverpool, of course, tonight through injury, but they're the gift that keeps on giving. Another 3-0 defeat tonight at home to Crystal Palace. They made a ridiculous amount of changes. Their team was unrecognisable. It's almost like Arne Slot lost it a little bit. Like, just chucked the cup game tonight because he knows they're on a bad form, and he can almost allow himself to say, well, I made all the changes. But it's amazing to think what's happened and how much Liverpool have gone back the way. Voltemad's fitted in perfectly here. That's 6 goals from him now in 9 starts. You could not ask for any more. I was surprised Eddie started him tonight. I thought Asula would have been given a start. But he started, he showed exactly why, played 70 minutes, 65, 70 minutes, moved well, linked well, good feet again, couldn't really miss his header, but with his height, 6'7", he's going to win those ones, and he makes defenders scared. They don't know whether he's going to take the ball to his feet or whether they're going to play it in high, and he just keeps them thinking, keeps them guessing the whole time. He's just a box of tricks, and he's so difficult to mark because you don't know what's going to come from him next, and he's got so many facets to his game. So look, it's worked out so well from him. As I say, 6 and 9, but there's more than that, what he brings to the team. He's come off tonight, rested up for the last 20 minutes. He'll go again at West Ham on Sunday. And I just like the options at the moment. I thought Ramsey was good in midfield. He looks like he's getting stronger. I think he must have lasted maybe about 80, 85 minutes there. I think tonight, you might have to correct me, but he lasted a fair chunk of the game. Really good feet, quick, athletic, like really gets around the pitch. I think he's going to get better and better, and it's going to be really hard for Eddie to pick a midfield 3 moving forward. I mean, for me, looking at it right now, as much as I like Joe Linton, probably the best midfield 3 in terms of ability and the way they use the ball is probably Tonali, Bruno and Ramsey. I know Ramsey's got a bit to go in terms of his fitness, but for me, he's still got gears he can go through, and I think both him and Chow are going to be cracking Newcastle United signings moving forward, and to Voltemada. So look, the signings and recruitment have been spot on so far this season. Let's hope that Wissa, when he's available, can do similar, because it's good to see the recruitment working and the fitness of the players being there and the lack of injuries. Touch wood, it's been a delight to see this summer. It's been really, really refreshing. And I'm going to finish up tonight by just talking about this competition. Great to see Newcastle take it seriously. I had a couple of flashbacks tonight watching the game, taking me back to the old days under Mike Ashley here, the place half empty, knowing that you wanted to get knocked out, a reserve team playing. not wanting to go through depression, just quiet, eerie depression. But that tonight felt like there's a real crackling atmosphere, real cup tie, everyone up for it. It almost felt a bit at the end like it meant a bit more than the win against Benfica last week, and I can't believe I'm saying that being the Champions League. But I think with it being Tottenham and one of your rivals, and to beat them again, and they've got so many top players, I just love how seriously Eddie takes it. I love how at the end, even at 2-0 up, he's bringing on Bruno to see out the last 10 minutes, bringing on Anthony Gordon to see out the last 5 minutes. I love the way he's doing that, not scared to use them. And it just keeps everyone fresh and bubbling over for the next game. And one final thing I want to say, I should have said it earlier, Aaron Ramsdale, what a deputy goalkeeper he is. I mean, I think he's brought Nick Pope's levels up, because Nick Pope's looked at Ramsdale and thought, right, wow, I've got another England international goalkeeper here. But Ramsdale, a couple of great saves in the second half, real presence in goals. You can tell the rest of the players like him, and he shouldn't be a number 2 anywhere. But I think with him and Pope, with the amount of games that are coming up this season, to have those two options, given the options and situation we've seen with Newcastle goalkeepers in recent years, is a real bonus. And I think there's very, very little between them in terms of goalkeeping. But Pope's obviously got the gloves at the moment because he's been doing so well. And but to have someone like Ramsdale to come in and play a game like that tonight, it's real good options. And again, kudos to the recruitment in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle try and make that one permanent. So that's it from me, guys, tonight. All positive stuff. Hopefully you all agree. If not, let me know below, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers now. Bye bye.